everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here because you're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
This is Don West here, and I'm telling you, Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby. Make sure that's the one you check out, because, buddy, like me, they're the real deal, baby.
This is Jake the Snake Roberts. Just letting you know, you need to listen to Knockouts and 3 Counts, or you'll see that damn snake again.
This is the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy. And you're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
What up, though, everybody? This is Kyle, and you are listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts. As you can see, you got both Kyles in studio, and Devin's on the line with us. Our guest will be calling in real shortly here. We're going to be talking all about Bare Knuckle FC 8 that's going to be happening on Fight TV live on pay-per-view this Saturday. Before we get there, and she's on the line with us in a second. Give me 1 second. Before we get there, if you're looking to buy a house, I got to shout out our sponsors real quick. We got Stransky & Company. Stransky & Company is the top producing real estate team that specializes in individual strategy, over-the-top service, and continued success for their clients. They are the real estate easy button if you're looking to buy, sell, investor buy. Call them at 248-563-9449 or email them at admin@stranskycompany.com. Follow them on all their social medias at Stransky & Company. All their links, all that stuff can be found on our website as well at ko3cpod.com. Obviously, like I said, we've got a big guest with us tonight, and she's on the line with us. We've got Sheena Starr before she gets ready to go fight at Bare Knuckle FC this weekend. How you doing?
I'm just living the dream. It's fight week. You know.
Well, welcome back to the show, first of all. It's been quite a minute since you've been on, but she's also past guest of the show as well.
Right. Sorry, I got fucking Pete blowing up my phone with some dumb shit. What was that again?
No. No, we were just saying you're a long past guest of the show and just reminding everybody that we've had you and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it. Yeah.
No problem at all.
My notification. So, like, we're talking. I was like, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, fuck.
She was there.
And I've been looking forward to this interview for a long, long time. Hands down, that the first time you came on the show was one of my favorite interviews that we've ever done.
So you're looking forward to it? I'm like, really? You're looking forward to it? All right. Right on, man. Yeah, I remember the last time. That was great. That was like one of the best radio interviews ever. Came in, just hanging out, talking about some shit. We had a couple cats in there, and there was beer. I mean, it was great.
There's always beer.
Yeah, Devin's podcast juice is always on deck.
Always. I'm gonna have one of those Saturday after I beat the brakes off this Florida chick.
So let's talk. So let's talk about that first of all. This is going to be your second appearance for Bare Knuckle FC. Tell us a little bit about what made you want to go over to Bare Knuckle, because I know you fought MMA. We know you fought for Ryzen and all those things. You know, give me a little bit of an idea what made you want to make the switch over to Bare Knuckle. If it was just money or just the fight style, and what was your thoughts on your first appearance over there?
Well, it first started off, I was, cornering Tony Lopez. You know, I've been in Tony Lopez's corner, quite a bit. Anytime he's usually on this side of the Mississippi, he's got his go-to people. I mean, he's got go-to people wherever he goes in the world. The dude fights like every fucking month he can. So I was at a lot of these events, watching, and I loved it, man. I thought it was cool as fuck. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, this is some pretty cool shit, and it's, what mostly everybody they have on there is, they got like UFC legends and like Chris Lytle and Levin, and we got, Anderson Silva and, Antonio Silva, not Anderson, Bigfoot Silva this weekend. I'm just like, oh man, that'd be cool. I'd like to do that one day. And, I had an MMA fight in Oklahoma, and of course wrestle fucking, which I can't stand because I'm a shitty grappler. I don't care how much I show up to jiu-jitsu. I just can't fucking do it. All right. It's whatever. You know, I mean, I'm just not that good at it, and that's okay. You know, I mean, I kept trying and everything, and it was whatever. And then after that event, I seen they were looking to match somebody up real quick. They had a drop on a card in Biloxi, and it was like a week and a half away. And I'm like, fucking, I'll do it. You know, and they're like, really? You do this? I'm like, fucking right, I would. I love that shit. Let's roll it. So I signed up, you know, for that, and I really felt good about it because I've always, you know, striking's always been, you know, my strong point, you know, in fighting. I've only been dropped and finished on the feet one time, and that was from Allie Beth, you know, years, a while ago at Big John's MMA. You know, I got a million fights. I'm like, I was comfortable with the striking. I already understood that it wasn't boxing. That this was a fight, you know. So I had that going in, feeling all right about it. And my opponent didn't show up to weigh-ins. And I heard she was overweight, and she came in like in the middle of the night. They called the commissioner in the hotel like late at night to weigh her in, and then she missed weight, and I didn't even see her until basically the fighters meeting. And that's wild. You know, I mean, I kind of got nervous a little bit then because she was big. You know what I mean? She was just looked like she could peel coconuts with her fucking teeth, man. I mean, she was a mean look.
You weren't fighting Gabby Garcia, were you?
Lady. No, I was fighting her cousin. I fucking swear to God, man.
No way.
You know, I'm like, holy. No, it's not her cousin, but, you know, like, I already knew this girl had like 12 pro boxing matches. She, you know, I mean, she fought good people in MMA too. Like, you know, she fought like Cat Zago and, you know, I mean, tough people. And I'm like, holy crap, man. And it was just whatever. I pulled in a last, my, one of my favorite coaches out of North Carolina. They came in last minute. I was there all by myself the whole weekend, you know, just kind of hanging out, and go to walk out to the ring wearing my cool shirt. And then I see her from across the ring, and she's got a big old pentagram with a satanic goat tattooed across her whole fucking abdomen. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know, questioning my life decisions at that point. And I got a little bit of, you know, performance anxiety. You know, I didn't really know what to expect. It was, you know, kind of like walking into your first fight. You know, I'm like, I'll just go out there and, you know, try my best. That first round was weird. It was weird. It was like my ears were ringing a little bit. Of, you know, anxiety was getting to me a lot. There's a lot of people there, and you know, I got boom cameras down, and you know, of course, you got internet trolls and shit the night before, and I'm like, fuck, man, you know, don't look stupid. And you know, really thankful for the coach I had in my corner, man. You know, because you really respect, you know, strikes a lot more compared to glove sports when it's bare knuckle, because it don't matter. They all hurt. It doesn't matter if they miss or wherever they land, that shit hurts. And it hurts when you throw them too. You know, you got to really pick your shots really well. And I got to finish, you know, in the second round, and that felt great. That was fun. And then I became a meme.
I was about to say, so let's talk about that. How in the fuck did that walkout shirt become a thing? And I'm shocked that they let you wear it out to the ring.
Half of them didn't know, man. We got a little FCC trouble. You know, I'll tell you what, I made a lot of fans in the fucking south of Mississippi, because they're all pretty conservative.
Kyle, do you know the shirt that we're referencing?
Oh yeah. I was taking selfies with people's babies and shit after that fight, man. You know, I swear. I mean, so many. It was cool. It was cool, but like I said, I took that, you know, the first fight on like, you know, a week and a half notice. I didn't have time to collect sponsors and get a fight outfit and all this, so I just grabbed, you know, my Muay Thai flap shorts and called my favorite T-shirt person here in Michigan, and I last minute deal. You know, I'm like, hey, can you get this sleeveless rash guard, put Hillary Clinton's account in big fucking letters on the front of it for me? He's like, I don't even want to ask or need to ask with you, but yeah. Then I basically picked it up from his house in Bay City on my way to the fucking airport, you know, and I just worked for a veteran friend of mine. A veteran friend of mine is a Navy SEAL. He actually worked her detail, and you know, a lot of military law enforcement friends of mine. You know, they just just despise. They're like, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna do this for y'all. I'm gonna do this for y'all. You know, I had no idea it was gonna be as big as it did or anything like that. I just was being me. You know, my own little personality. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this. You know, I didn't know they were gonna give me a second fight or want to give me my official signing like they did. But I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stand out, and I'm gonna do it without flaunting tits and ass and shit all over the fucking internet. I'm just gonna be my goofy ass type of humorous self. And I wore my I have no tits shirt for fucking weigh-ins. That was people like that. That was funny. And then Hillary Clinton is a cunt. I just walked out with that, and holy, like heads were turned. Oh, and I was on the undercard, so it was on a Facebook Live deal with Bare Knuckle, and like people were trying to report it, and the feed almost got shut down. I almost shut down the entire feed for fucking BKFC number 5 because of my stupid T-shirt, but it didn't happen, so they were good. They were good with it.
Does anybody come up to you and say, "Hey, are you the Hillary Clinton is a cunt girl"?
They recognized me the last Biloxi event because I worked cutman opposite a Stitch. So a couple of the fans are, and I think I was like walking to the bathroom or something, and this group of firefighters, there's a big group of firefighters that were there for Harris Sandman, which was another local fighter there. I just walked by and they're like, Hillary Clinton is a cunt. And I'm like, what's up, guys? How you doing? Why are you fighting? I'm like, I'm not. I'm putting faces back together tonight. I'm not making cuts,
So tell us a little bit about how, obviously this is going to be your second fight for Bare Knuckle FC. Now you kind of have a little bit more of an idea of what to expect. You mentioned something that I've been talking about. Like I was actually just talking about this with a couple of my coworkers because we were talking about the show tonight. And, tell those who either haven't fought before or don't realize the significance of it. Like how much does fighting in bare knuckle change your game plan versus when you're fighting in MMA or kickboxing or boxing or whatever the case might be? Sheena? I don't know.
Did we lose Shayna?
It looks like.
From what I can see, she's still on the call.
Sheena, are you there? I don't know.
I don't know. I can try and remove her, and
she might have Sprint.
She just dropped.
Yeah, she has Sprint.
We'll have Sheena back in 2 seconds. She just dropped. The call dropped. Sheena, you there?
Yes, of course another promoter would try to call me right now.
So
I'll have to call them back. So anyways, yeah, we're conditioned and we're really training for a sprint versus a marathon, as far as endurance and cardio wise. And second off, we got to pick our punches a lot better, man. We can't just go head hunt like you can with a lot of glove sports. You don't want to punch the forehead. You're gonna break your hand. We have to keep our fists very tensely. It's really super tight clenched. With an MMA glove or like a boxing glove, we can have our hands a little bit more relaxed and be a little bit more playful with our strikes. Bare knuckle, you can't. It's got to be the most tightly clenched fist that you can possibly imagine. Because again, you're gonna break your fucking hand if it's just even a little bit loose. Because we don't wear hand wraps. I mean, we got them around a little bit on the back of our hand and on our wrist, and that's it. That's all we have for that. The ring is a lot different too.
Is it 6-sided or is it a straight circle?
It's a circle. It's a squared circle, which is really goes back to the beginning of fighting and where the name ring actually came from. You know, you ever think about, well, they call it a boxing ring, but it's shaped like a square. Well, back in the, you know, the bare knuckle days, or in the boxing days, you know, in the 1800s and shit, they would draw a circle, and the fighters would have to go in that circle, almost similar to a pit. Well, then it got to the point where they'd have to rope it off. Well, it was easier to rope it off with the square than it was with the circle, but the name ring still stuck with, you know, the boxing platform, so that's why, you know, they still call it a ring, even though it's a square. So when Feldman came to Gary Grant Jr., which he is the builder and the creator of the squared circle, that was, you know, they were trying to take back something old with something new and, you know, still keep the historical significance and everything with, you know, the fighting platform. But, yeah,
nice.
So it's a big ring, and those aren't ropes, though. They look like ropes.
They're cables.
But they don't move. No, they're not cables at all. It's titanium tubing.
Damn.
With like something that looks like a pool noodle around it, and then of course, you know, you just got the vinyl, you know, bare knuckle logo wrap around it. But if you get backed up to that, it's a brick wall.
Good.
It's a brick wall. It doesn't give at all. It's like you're hitting a fucking wall. It's not like, you know, a cage or ropes or anything where it's gonna have a little bit of give, you know. No, you hit it, you fucking stop. But they move up and down, though, so it's really fucking weird. So, you know, so if you hit straight back, you're fucking stopping on a wall. But you can move down with it because there's about a couple inches of play that's spring-loaded on each side of it. So it's definitely a very unique fighting platform, unlike anything I've ever been in. And, you know, I've been in a Japanese MMA freaking, you know, 5-rope ring. I've been in cages. I've been in, you know, a half cage, half ring, a boxing ring, Muay Thai. I mean, all that shit. And this one's a little weird, but it's you get used to it. I mean, I've been in and out of it a bunch of times, either working, you know, corners, cutmen, and then, you know, of course, my one fight. So that's
Devin, you were talking about how excited you are for this interview. What questions do you got for Sheena?
Well, the funny thing is, like, I've asked this question to a lot of the women wrestlers and MMA fighters that we've had on the show, and I thought about this question after the first time you were on, and the question I have is this. So let's say, Sheena, you have a fight or you have a training session that gets really, really intense. Let's say you walk away with like a black eye or some bruises or something like that. And let's say you're out with a male friend. And, you know, you guys are out, you know, at a gas station getting gas, and the two of you walk in with a black eye. Have you ever had a situation where someone looked at you and, like, wondered, like, hey, is this guy hitting you? Do we need to call the police or something like that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've had people hand me domestic violence, fucking help call number cards, and, you know, pull me aside, are you all right, and da-da-da-da-da, and, you know, and it's you know, well, most of the time some people don't get involved either. They'll just fucking stare at you, you know what I mean? They'll just stare at you. Thank God for Arnica cream, man. It makes it go away, you know. And at first it was, you know, kind of really uncomfortable, and I'm just like, you know, and I hated it and this and that. But then again, you know, I thought about it. I'm like, man, you know, if I really was being abused or anything, you know, holy shit, you know, there's people out there that, you know, want to reach out and want to help and everything if they can. So I think that's a good thing too. So, you know, because of that aspect, it doesn't bother me. I can just, you know, explain, hey, no, I compete in combat sports, and, you know, I had a match, and I can show them pictures on my phone, and you know, they think that's cool, and then they go, hey, you should come and train some girls, and and I'm like, no, I don't do that. But, you know. Well, it's dangerous. It's dangerous unless you're like completely certified to, you know, teach women self-defense. I mean, don't go out there trying to make fighters out of soccer moms and giving them a false sense of reality. It's just dangerous. I don't agree with it, so I don't do it, you know.
Kyle, you got any questions?
Yeah, so because you've got an extensive background in MMA and you've been pretty much involved in almost all combat sports, how would you say the atmosphere is for bare knuckle boxing versus MMA or boxing or even pro wrestling or even like a martial arts tournaments? How would the atmosphere for those? How would the atmosphere for bare knuckle boxing vary versus the other type of combat sports?
It's really more relaxed. It's really more relaxed, Not only are most of the contestants and everyone, I mean, these guys are veterans. These guys are, battle tested warriors that have, been fighting for so freaking long. Just like my last fight, me and Artem Lebov. I mean, we shared a room together, and it's just laid back. You really don't have too much to worry about. It's just fighting all hands, and that just comes really second nature to a lot of these people. It's not really, high stress, high anxiety in the back. Everyone's just kind of hanging out. You wrap your own hands. You don't gotta worry about getting gloves and this, and it's just such a laid back atmosphere there. The whole time, the whole weekend. You're there. It's not even just fight day. You don't have big huge teams and entourages, and it's just really chill. It's really chill compared to even our small pro-am shows that we have here in Michigan. Where it's kind of like edgy and everybody kind of keeps to their own, and bare knuckle now it's completely different. Like the whole card will just be out there standing, watching the other dude fight before, and okay, I guess it's your turn, and so do a couple jumping jacks, walk out, and then they fight, and it's just like it's really just really relaxed, low energy in the back, man. And
are there any different?
That really helps too.
So, is there any different rules as far as to how many people you're allowed to have in your corner, or like how long they're allowed to be?
It depends. It depends on what athletic commission you go to. Each commission, you're usually allowed to have 3 licensed corners, and I mean, nobody else really needs to walk out with you.
Right.
Nobody else wants anybody else to walk out. Man,
right.
I don't need an entourage of fucking 20 fucking people to walk me out to a fight so I can take up everybody's time and kill their buzz while I fucking hug, 6 babies, 9 cousins, my aunt, my uncle, and, whoever fucking else wants to walk out with me. They ain't like that. They want to get out there and they want to fucking fight. So they're just taking them and their coaches, and their people can be in the crowd and support them, And I feel that way too, So it's like, yeah, it's just how everybody wants it, man. I guess if somebody wanted a bunch of people to walk out with, and that, I mean, I don't see them.
I just didn't know
problem,
with it being like
I
bare
know
knuckle.
Florida Athletic Commission ain't letting anybody go in that back room unless you have a license. That's ABC shit, and ISKA on top of it. So there's 2 sanctioning bodies in Florida. So, I mean, you got. I'm like, I can't even take a piss by myself. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of commission back there. So you can't just.
So you're gonna be fighting against Delaney Owen unless your opponent has changed that we didn't know about yet. Tell us a little bit about. Tell us a little bit about what you know about your opponent.
Fucking suck. Well, Callie was supposed to fight Callie Cutler. Michigan Toppy in there, and fucking Martina broke her foot. In training, and it fucking sucked, and she lost that fight, and it just wasn't enough time for her to get a replacement. I was kind of bummed about that, but yeah,
Callie Cutler's a
I'm
beast.
facing Delaney Owen. I was supposed to be matched there both in MMA and pro boxing. Shit didn't work out on both of them. I don't know if the matchmakers or whatever were lying to me or whatever, but they told me that she bailed, so I don't fucking know. I don't know. Sometimes people lie to fighters just to lie to them. So I don't know if it was her or it was them or whatever. I don't fucking care. I'm just like, finally we get to fight, So, she is signed with Invicta. It's a little bit shorter than I am. She's a good fighter. You know what I mean? Like all her pro boxing, I think she's only been stopped once. And all the rest of them went to decision, so she is battle tested. She fights for, a really large MMA organization as well. Invicta is, as we all know. She's more of a grappler, though. I mean, I'm not going to, underestimate her or anything at all. I'm just, curious why she would do bare knuckle. It could be, she could have her own fucking reasons. Who knows?
So would you say that you like
this Saturday?
So would you say that you like this matchup better with it being in bare knuckle as opposed to MMA?
Oh, absolutely. Because if it was MMA, she was just, I'd be fighting a fucking takedown for an entire round and, getting laid on and subbed and shit because nobody likes to fight me in MMA.
Devin?
They don't want to fight. They don't want to fight. They'd rather, they want to rather grapple and shit, because that's how you beat me. That's how you beat me. You can't beat me on the feet, unless your name's Allie Beth Millerin. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, yeah, I'm really hard to get on the feet, man. I can switch stances. I can throw power from both sides, and I'm a fucking southpaw, and I'm lengthy, and I move pretty quick, and I'm really hard to time. So I don't think that the 2-minute rounds will give them enough time to make adjustments, before I'm going to get my finish. So that's how I really see it going. I mean, if it doesn't go, then it doesn't go. I'm not going to talk a bunch of shit or anything, but I'm coming in confident, and I'm feeling good about it. So especially because it's in my own weight class. I'm a little bit too small for 125 pounds, so I come in underweight at 125 pounds. We'll put it that way. So it's refreshing being able to fight in my actual weight class, so I can actually fight people my size, which is great because the last chick was fucking huge. I don't like it. I still did that shit though. You know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah, and that girl hit hard too, Ivana Coleman. Holy shit. Holy crap, she got me one good time, like with an overhand. I was like, holy shit. With a bare knuckle in the face, like right on my eye orbital. I mean, I still got a little scar from it. It rocked it pretty good. It's not like getting hit with anything else.
Devin?
Well, my last question is, been looking through your social media, and one thing that I've noticed is that you're very, very, you have a great personality. You like to express yourself. And I saw a picture, it was like a boomerang video of you dressed up as Harley Quinn getting hit in the head with a baseball bat. And we've seen you walk out. Yeah.
I'm Aaron Kirchner with the bat.
And we've seen you at Rising with the elaborate walkout. You have anything planned for this fight as far as, expressing yourself, your walkout, your gear, anything like that?
Yeah, I sure do. I got my secret squirrel shirt that's already been printed. Something that's not going to piss off the FCC too bad, and it's ready to go. It's ready to go, and I'll be doing the same thing again with this shirt. So I'll be donating, putting on eBay and donating it to the cause that I'll announce after the fight.
Nice. Kyle, you got any questions?
Yeah, my last question will be, so what can people expect from you this weekend? What can they expect? What do you think the outcome is going to be at the end of your fight?
Knockout.
Man, it's gonna look like 2 honey badgers at a fucking rave. I can tell you that much because that chick is really shit.
If you could see Randy, our producer's
stoppage
face when you said that.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's gonna be like, man. This chick, she's a lot shorter than me, so I was like, she's gonna try to go in for the body. I know she is. She's only got this one overhand. I mean, that ain't no problem. Again, with bare knuckle, I want to go in there. Of course, I want to get the knockout because I get a nice knockout bonus if I do that. That's more money. I got Christmas coming up. I got kids. Shit.
Shout out to Heath Slater.
Right. So, I'm looking to get the finish. If it goes 5 rounds, then I already know. I mean, I don't think it's gonna go 5 rounds because I don't want it to go 5 rounds, and it's my fight, so I'm not letting it go 5 rounds. So that's what we're doing. Either, TKO or KO, you know what I mean? I ain't...
So we've got a prediction in the live feed. I don't know who he is, but you probably do. Bradford Bishop says knockout round 3.
You know what? That's a pretty good prediction, Brad. Brad is, he's from Florida. And actually... one of my sponsors, he's and Still Nutrition. He also sponsors Abby Vasquez. I don't know how to say his last name. I don't know. I can't speak Spanish, but Abby's on that card. He's one of the main fighters on that card there at Team Assassin, right in Tampa. So yeah, and they know me pretty well. So. And they also know my opponent pretty well because she's in Tampa. So.
And also, Bradford, we're looking for sponsors
I
also.
even got the locals rooting for me, bro. Like, fuck.
So would you say from now on you see yourself staying in the bare knuckle realm? Do you see yourself going back to MMA, like, or is...
Yeah, I like the bare knuckle. I don't, I mean, I might do some kickboxing or, pro boxing, and, I just really feel, if it's, my fighting style, and not only that, but my body type. And I'm an adrenaline junkie. I always have been, even before I thought I used to race motocross and shit. So, once you experience a bare knuckle fight, and you don't want to do anything else, it's like way cool. It's like going to Cedar Point and riding the biggest, baddest roller coaster there first, and then going and trying to ride everything else, and everything else is kind of meh, Plus, bare knuckle takes care of us really well, and they pay us really good, and it's like, why would I, why we don't want to go anywhere else, and you'll see that similarity on many interviews. I mean, even Johnny Bedford. I mean, he's like, fuck, man, I want to stay here. You know what I mean? I mean, Johnny's a great wrestler, and he's this, and he fucking fought UFC and all this, and he can still compete and still be successful on the MMA platform. But hell no, he wants to stay with bare knuckle, man. He loves that shit, and for the very same reasons I've listed. You know what I mean?
So with before I let you get out of here, it's
you're fine. You're fine. I'm just sitting chilling in my freaking bedroom, hiding from my kids and my dog. So we're good.
So you mentioned that you had other promoters and things calling you. How does you being a matchmaker and things like that, does that help you? Does it hurt you? Like, how do you feel that affects your own personal, fight game and stuff like that?
Well, when it comes to like getting close to fight week and stuff like this, like I can't take on other shit, and I tell them that because I have to take time and I have to focus on my own self, and people, they should understand that. And, I put it right out there. I used to make the mistake in the past and, try to be Superwoman because I had a fucking ego and I just wanted to try to do everything. You know what I mean? But, I matchmake here at TWC. I do last minute fill-in spots for fucking Bellator. I've sent people to fucking Ryzen, Invicta, all of that crap, and I have a lot of these promoters will, hit me up last minute with stuff, like, holy crap, I need this. And, I'm looking for a light heavyweight for Bellator right now for October 25th. And I'm like, I can't, man. I'm sorry. I'm going to pass over the bill to someone else. Y'all got to give me at least a week and a half off. You know what I mean? And it's just all about balance, man. And just knowing when to say, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
So that this will piggyback right off of that too. So you talked about having to find the balance during fight week and all that. On top of being a fighter, on top of being a mom, on top of being, a matchmaker, all that kind of stuff. You're also a cut woman for all the, for a lot of the big promotions. I know you've done Glory, and I know you've done Glory, and let everybody know like some of the places you've worked, and you were taught by Stitch, which anybody that's watched,
right.
Anybody that's watched MMA has seen him.
You gotta know who fucking Stitch is. Everybody knows who Stitch is. I wasn't exclusively trained just at Stitch. I shadowed him a lot. I took some of his courses. Back when I had cancer, 2011, right around that time, I didn't think I was going to be able to fight anymore because the doctors told me I wouldn't be able to because I got low blood cell count and some nerve damage and shit. Also the reason I can't fucking grapple well. Some muscles in some places don't work well. But I wanted to learn other stuff. Because I still wanted to be a part of, the sport that I love so much, even if I couldn't compete. So I noticed there was a need for a cut man in Michigan. I'm like, we don't even have one here. I see people getting blowed open all the fucking time. And, I always admired that, taking care of the fighter. I wanted to learn how to wrap hands, really good. I wanted to learn how to stop bleeding and this and that. And so took courses, and I would go to Invicta. I would go to, Invicta shows, and I'd sit next to Stitch, like, can I shadow you? And he'd be, sure. And that man, I mean, he would just like, you would swear. It was just amazing. He's like, this is how I do this, and this is how you do this, and here, watch what I do right here. Boom, boom. Show me how to mix the stuff. Roll the Q-tips. This swelling here, and I just picked, the brains of, these guys and let them teach me. I shut up, I asked questions, and years and years later, I kept doing it. I never really put it out there, because I'm not the type to be like, oh, look at me, look who's teaching me shit. I just, did it, and that's how I got my job. That's how I got the cutman job at Bare Knuckle. Was Stitch was working there, and something happened with the other cutman, and Stitch see me there with Tony Lopez, and he snatched my ass right up and went, and the whole fucking board of commissioners and everything right there. And he's like, this is Sheena Starr. She's from the MMA world. I know she knows her shit. I've seen her work. She put her in. If not this one, do the next one. And boom. Then I was in there in Cancun, and then I worked at number 7 too, and I definitely showed my worth on that fight event, especially with the Christine and Helen Patella event. That fight, because she had a cut that was really close to her eye, and the blood was going in it, and the doctor was getting a little worried about they don't like blood going in the eye, so I quit treating the swelling under her one eye and let her eye poof up so the blood would run off the side of her face so she could stay in her fight. And she ended up winning by decision, and that's exactly what a cutman does. It's exactly doing that job. But if it wasn't for picking these guys' brains and stuff, and actually learning and actually knowing to do that to keep the fighter in the fight, then that fight could have went a lot differently. You know what I mean? So it's cool, man. It's cool. Stitch and, any other time. Bellator, the Bellator cutman, fuck, man, Dean Lannister and Brian Bilderhart. Can't say his last name right. Sid Gee, Craig. I mean, all those guys are great. When I used to go fight out amateur in Kansas City, like, I don't know, every 3 months for 2 years straight, they would always be the cutman out there. It was always the Bellator guys. So I would always, picking their brains, and I retain information. I never forget anything. So I was able to just be like a little sponge with all these guys. That's the best cutmen in the world, in my opinion. And it's really helped me develop and get these jobs. Like Glory FC, and Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships, and when Alliance MMA was around, I was doing all of their events. I still do Hoosier Fight Club. Here in Michigan, I don't charge these guys here like really anything at all. I'm just here to help out our people, because I always like to help our people out.
So as we go into the fight this weekend, this is going to be your second time around. You've got more experience going into it. We've heard your thoughts on your opponent. You got any last words for your opponent, and do you got any sponsors or anything like that you need to shout out and let everybody know where they can see it? We mentioned Fight TV. I don't know what other mediums it's on, but just let everybody know what's up with it.
Well, it's on pay-per-view. So whether you have, if you have either satellite TV or if you have cable TV, if you go on your channel guide and you go to the pay-per-view section, you'll find Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship in the pay-per-view section of your cable TV or satellite provider as well. And of course, also on the Fight TV app, you can watch it on basically any smart device, whether you have a tablet, cell phone, computer, any of that. So that's how you're able to watch the fight this weekend. As far as any last words or anything to my opponent, I'm just I'm just humbled and grateful. Thank you for taking the fight. It's a big leap. I think she's got lady balls. There's not like a line of women chomping at the bit to jump in and fight on this platform. It really takes somebody with that warrior fighter spirit. So I really admire that from her, and nothing but respect and everything. And looking forward to seeing her this weekend. I always bring like a little gift bag, with something for my opponent, from my home state. I always thought that was, something just cool. Life's too short to be an asshole. I mean, we're all not a Conor McGregor here, so just looking forward to it. Be healthy. I hope you're not injured. I know I don't think she's be cutting too much weight. Just stay healthy. I want the best Delaney that that Delaney can be, and I hope everything's going well for her. As far as sponsors, I got a couple of them, and with these guys, it really just made this fight camp and this whole process leading up to this fight just so much better. First and foremost, B2 Digital, B2 Media, they have been absolutely fabulous. They have helped me out with my training, buying any sort of special food that I need for my weight cut, gas cards, some of my medicals, like my eye exam and everything else, and time away from home. I've had to take some time off of work and stuff and away from my kids, and B2 Media is just they've helped me out the best that I've been able to remember, really, financially and everything. So huge shout out to them, and Kevin Smith and everybody with B2 Fight Series and all the promoters that are a part of that type of syndicate there throughout the Midwest. And Still Nutrition, Brad Bifford, he helped me out with my medicals as well, and there's a lot of medicals involved. And not only did he help with my routine labs, he sent me this natural supplement type of stuff. It's called Joint Jitsu. It's actually a pretty fitting name, but it's for like inflammation and swelling of like your joints and everything. And man, when I'm putting in road work and my knees are hurting and blowing up, I mean, instead of popping ibuprofen and crap, I mean, I just take a couple of those, right before I go to do my deal, and I feel a shit ton better. His rehydration, like when I get down there, I know I got like potassium drops and shit that he's gonna have for me to really help me rehydrate after my weight cut. So huge shout out to And Still Nutrition. Combat Insiders, they are our official bare knuckle media source. They are also home to what's called Knucklepedia, which is kind of like Capology, but it's just for bare knuckle fighters. So it has our record reporting and our stats and kind of like our one side tail of the tape, our background and bio and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they keep everybody updated on all the media and all the happenings that, not only Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, but Valor and BKB overseas and everything else. So if you get a chance to check them out online, Bearding for Autism Awareness, they're
That's awesome.
They're a nonprofit charity group out of the East Coast. The East Coast, actually, for it's a autism school. It's like a school. It's a school center for youth with that also have autism. So I think that's pretty awesome of those guys. I wanted to put them on there in the shout out. And Winston's Wishes, they are a animal type sanctuary and rescue and animal advocate charity as well. 501(c)(3). They really help the doggos and stuff, man. Like I'm a big dog lover, so anybody who's out there helping our fur babies, like I'm all for you, and I think you're awesome.
Well, let everybody know where they can find your social media and all that stuff, so they can follow all the shit that you post on social media.
Yeah, I know. I had to really put out my sponsor. I had to put it out there, man. They're not just sponsors. They're not just people that give me money and I slap a logo. I'm like, I know these people and I have friendships with them. You know what I mean? So it's really personable, and
I hear you.
I enjoy it. You can find me on Instagram. I'm not on there too much because it's like I can only keep up so much social media stuff. But you can find me on Instagram at Puma Star, and Facebook. My personal page is Sheena Star. I leave everything public so people can lurk. And Sheena Puma Star is the fan page where it's primarily just for fight update stuff. But, if you want memes and funny animal videos and all that shit, you got to follow the Sheena Star account because that's the best one.
Well, check that shit out this Saturday, Bare Knuckle FC 8. And, you're talking about Combat Insiders. Make sure you tell them when you go down there that you enjoyed your time on Knockouts and 3 Counts because we would be more than happy to help them promote their shit as well. So
Hey, for sure.
Hey, man, like I said, if I don't put it out there, you know what they say about putting shit out into the universe. But either way.
Yeah, well, you got to put it out there. Anybody got to know if you don't say nothing.
Exactly.
I'm sure that one of them are probably listening right now.
Hey, man.
I'm probably like, okay.
Like I said, man, send them our way. But like I said, we're wishing you all the best. Thank you for coming on the show again, and we're definitely going to bring you back on again soon. And the next time I see you at a fight, I'll buy you a beer after you get a W.
Yes. I will do that. I will enjoy that. I'll enjoy that.
Thanks
It'll be
a lot.
Great. It'll be awesome. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You as well.
All right, you too.
I will. I'm going to go pee now. Fucking fight week. I almost brought you to the toilet with me, but I think y'all wanted that. But we was close. We was close, y'all. All right. Y'all have a good night.
You as well.
All right. Bye.
Later. Well, Devin, was it what you expected?
Minus the P
I
part.
love her, man. She, definitely top 5 guest of all time. Top 5.
Wow. That's high praise at this point. So with the time we got left, we've got about 15 minutes left. I figured to give us a little bit of time to jump into the things that are going on with wrestling. Okay, we've had about 2 weeks now of AEW as far as AEW Dynamite versus NXT. First of all, I guess let's start with them because they're the new kid on the block, and we're going to be there, ring the bell, for StarCast 4 in full gear and all that shit. We'll be there bringing you some fire-ass interviews. So now that we've had a couple weeks for things to kind of play out a little bit, Kyle, you've been a little bit quiet. What are your thoughts on AEW so far?
I like everything I've seen so far. I don't want them to get too much into the fact of kind of comparing themselves to WCW. I know heard Cody wants to try to get some of the old trademarks for some of the WCW shows back, some of the ones that Dusty came up with. So I don't want them to get too laxed into relying the fact that, yes, they are similar. They have a lot of similarities to WCW, but they need to really embrace the difference between them and the biggest contemporary in WWE. It's a completely different feel. Matches feel different. The commentary feels different. I still say they still have a little bit to go on the production value side. They still are learning on that one. It's better than when they started, but I've enjoyed everything I've seen. It does feel refreshing watching them because I can kind of watch a Seth Rollins match and pretty much guess what the biggest spots are going to be. When I'm watching a match with Darby, when I'm watching a match with Cody, when I'm watching something with the Young Bucks, I do know of them. I have seen them before, but I don't know what they're going to pull out on weekly TV. So I've enjoyed everything I've seen so far.
Devin, what about you?
Well, I think for the most part, I've expressed most of my thoughts on 1205 Live. You can
Watch that
make sure you
bitch.
Watch that on this same channel.
Taco
Right,
meat,
every
taco
day.
meat
Well,
special.
105 your time. But I kind of agree with most of the things that Kyle just said. They're getting better with their production. I'm actually watching AEW Dark right now for the second time. I thought that to me was a great idea.
The new episode? The new episode or the first one?
Yeah. The new episode.
Well, damn, guy. Shit, you must have really loved it. Twice in a day? Shit.
All I'm going to say is, I do this thing on 1205 Live where I give a match that I think everybody should watch. Sneak preview. Joey Janela versus Kenny Omega is going to be my recommendation for tomorrow.
That shit sounds like fire. I'll go real quick as far as AEW. I definitely think the AEW Dark thing is a very smart move. Because it's different. We've never seen WWE do that with any of their dark matches. Except for like if you want to count like the shows that were quote unquote, house shows that they put on the network. I mean, you don't really see the dark matches like that. And the fact that they're doing it in like an hour show.
That's not necessarily true. Because, that's basically what Superstars and Main Event was. Like
but they used to position those as
but
shows.
Nobody watched those because nobody went to see those guys.
Well, now you can say that, but you can say that now. But like, I mean, when they first came out, they were positioned as shows. I mean, AEW said right from jump, these are the matches you don't get to see. So, I mean, I feel like that's a little bit different. As far as the overall feel, I totally agree with you guys that I think production-wise, they got some things that still need to be worked out. But I think the thing that they got going for them right now is just the fact they're fucking hot right now. Like, I mean, they've got you actually wanting to watch it. You want to see what's going to happen. Plus, from what I'm hearing, they've got more big names to come. I mean, so far from what I've seen, I've liked it. I just my biggest critique would be that I hope that in the coming weeks we see more development to the stories. They explained what the Inner Circle is. Good thing. They're really harping on the fact that Kenny's kind of been on a little bit of a losing streak. Again, I like that there's some story build there and things like that. So I'm really interested to see what happens. I can't wait to get to Baltimore.
Don't get shot.
You're about the 50th person that said that since we fucking announced it.
Just saying, watch your back.
and don't buy crack. Don't buy crack. It's right there for you. Don't do it. Just say no.
So with the time that
in abundance.
So with the time that we've got left, we've got about nine. Okay, according to Randy, we got 5 minutes left. So WWE, man, holy shit! If you follow our Twitter, and now Sheena's watching us as well. If you follow our Twitter,
hi, Sheena.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. If you watch our Twitter, man, like as soon as I started to watch the first round of the draft on SmackDown, like all I could see was like when you look at what's trending and stuff, how in the fuck can a company like WWE manage to, it's one thing to say who is up for the draft. Okay. I got that part. That made sense. But how do you not notice until the third round that you're literally going right down the fucking list?
That's just
they put the whole list out there. Like, what the fuck?
Right, but not only did you put it out, it's one thing to put who's eligible.
You put the exact draft order. I've never seen that. I've never, even on my best day watching an NFL or NBA draft, guessed every single pick in a row, and they just put it out there.
And then it was almost like you could tell they realized they fucked up, because then you started noticing, well, this guy would go here.
No, he's not going to be fourth. He's going to be seventh. Well, fuck, we still know what it is.
I
just love how the fact they fucked up the Fiend already. Like you completely ruined that one.
I don't think they ruined the Fiend, but I think that match.
I'm talking about you literally let Seth walk into the Firefly Funhouse and burn it down. Like I'm honestly amazed. It is beautiful to see how fast they ruined that.
Kyle, have you been watching professional wrestling from the WWE in the past, I don't know, 12 years?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I said it. I remember we were on Breaking Down the Ring, and I kept saying, like, don't ruin this. Like, just let it play out. Slow play it. Don't rush it. Take your time. And what do? They rushed it. They didn't take their time, and I do feel like they're taking the steam away from the Fiend.
It was a good summer. It was a good summer with Bray. It was good while it lasted.
I mean, I loved what we saw leading up to Hell in a Cell, but I mean, at this point, in my opinion, they've got no choice now but they're gonna have to do something drastic to try to pull this shit out of the hole at this point, because, okay, so now you've got him versus Seth in Saudi Arabia.
Boo.
Here's the other thing.
That's official?
Yeah. Falls count. I mean,
and you know what's gonna be funny? I would love for this to be the first Falls Count Anywhere match that ends in a double DQ.
I could be wrong, but I saw the graphic. I don't know if it's been announced yet or anything.
You know they would do that shit.
But
you know they would do that shit.
I mean, here's the thing with that for me is, like, I think personally the fact that Seth went to Raw, which you knew he was going to because he's the Universal Champion, and the
like,
belt's fucking red.
I'm like, what are they? That was fine. I'm like, why? With the exception of U.S. and Intercontinental, I didn't think Bailey was gonna go over to Raw.
Look, dude. First of all, that was my only thing that I liked from night number 1 of the draft. I think it's great that Bailey went full-blown heel. I like the fact that they cut the Bailey buddies, and I like the fact that they were at least smart enough to change her hair so she doesn't got the ponytail. That part, I think you did really well with,
good.
except for the fact that you've got generic number 5 as her music right now.
Yeah.
But hopefully they can change that. As far as the rest of it...
Wait, stop there for 1 second. I want to bring this up because I talked about this earlier today. I want to get your guys' thoughts. Have you seen the women that were drafted to SmackDown?
Vaguely.
There's only 5 women that's been drafted to SmackDown. Bailey, Sasha, Lacey Evans, Carmella, and Tamina.
Oh, no, they just announced Bliss and Cross are now on there, too.
I thought they were Raw.
No, they got traded.
They got traded for future Raw draft picks.
And you got to remember, they said that anybody that doesn't get drafted is going to be free agents, so a bunch of people are going to get fucking dropped over there.
Ooh, Tamina.
Well, true. I knew that there's going to be more moves to come, but for you to basically start off with your women, that's basically the foundation of your women's roster on SmackDown. I felt like they dropped the ball on that because you basically have all heels and Carmella.
Yeah.
And now you have to, play catch up to balance things out. While if you look at the Raw roster, they basically had every woman on that roster that had won a championship in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
so hopefully they balance the thing out with trades in the free agency. But I just thought they got off to a bad start as far as their SmackDown women's roster.
And one thing that's gotten me since the creation of the women's tag team division, I understand you kind of dropped the ball on that one, but I'm like, you don't just have to have them as a tag team. You can have a singles star in there too. You could give Alexa Bliss a singles feud and have her be in a tag feud to really make sure you don't just have just 3 tag teams.
Here's a perfect one. Okay, so you put Bailey and Sasha back together as a heel team. They were the ones who won the motherfucker. Why are they not? Mm-hmm. Why you're still touting them as like they're a group or a team or whatever.
And still mentioning that they were the first ones, and then they don't.
Okay, so my thing is, don't get me wrong. I'm cool with Bailey being champ. I'm cool with Sasha going for the title. But why if you're going to keep bringing them up in the tag team, scene and picture. And here's the thing. Okay, so you changed the title. The Kabuki Warriors still got the titles, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I don't have a problem with them even having the titles because at least they're doing something with them. But again, it's the argument that I have with so many things, and this is why I've said that I'm such a fan of NXT because they actually build the stories. I have no problem with what they did at Hell in a Cell with them getting the titles. My problem is this. How are you going to introduce something that was so critical to Asuka's character in Japan in her spitting out mist, which is not the first time she's done it. Mm-hmm. People here just don't know that. How the fuck do you add that? And there's no, so she did it at the pay-per-view. There's no mention of the shit. There's no why the fuck she did it. No,
she just did it.
Nothing. Even if you just had her do a thing and she pulls the whole no English card, I'm cool with that. But, fuck it. I spit in your face. Spit mist in your face. Fuck it. We're just going to forget about it tomorrow.
Yeah, she's Tajiri's daughter. It's a family thing. Don't worry
That's
about
the thing. Everybody keeps saying Tajiri. That's the other thing. Especially in reality era news, which if you're not a part of, you should be. The Great Muta is who I think of when I see Mist. I'm sorry. Tajiri's dope, but I think of the Great Muta. But that's just me.
And Kabuki. Yeah, Kabuki-ish too.
Yeah, but I feel like it's more synonymous with Great Muta, though.
Yeah, true. But wait, real quick before we get out of here. Like I was talking about with the women's SmackDown thing. Okay, so Sasha and Bailey are together, right?
Right.
So are they going to be going up against each other for the women's championship, or are they going to be a tag team?
Well,
because you basically have nobody to go up against.
But isn't Sasha?
For that championship
Isn't Sasha on Raw though?
No, she's on SmackDown.
No, she's on SmackDown.
Oh, she did go to SmackDown.
That's the only thing I'm like, okay, finally we get her on SmackDown.
That's just going to be. That's just how.
Is she going to go up against Bailey now?
They're either going to turn her face again, or that'll be how they eventually.
Because they obviously don't know how to get the 4 horsewomen away from each other. Yes, they are the 4 best women you have in there, but you don't always have to have them.
But I don't got a problem. So I don't got a problem with her and Sasha still being together because they've been synonymous with each other.
I turned off Raw last night when I saw Charlotte come out. I'm like, I don't need to see this match again. I don't need to see Becky versus. Charlotte
it was kind of
again.
good, but at the same time, I hear you.
It's formulaic. I like the I saw the roll up, which I think was cool, but I'm like, that's not entertaining to me right now. You have so many other people on your roster. And I'm not saying you could pull out Bianca Belair out of nowhere and put her versus Becky. Okay, but it's the same match we've seen.
Hey, where's Naomi?
Where is Naomi? I've been saying that shit for a while.
Don't even get me started on that
I say that shit in the group. I'm like, where's Naomi? The two things I say is, where's Naomi and poor Rusev?
So, guys, we're about out of time. Everybody throw out your social medias real quick before we get out of here.
Dev?
You can find me on Twitter at Devin63. That's DEVINTAT63. You can find me on Instagram at Allsnake No Sizzle. And make sure you watch 1205 Live. Well, really 105 y'all time. But 1205 Live every Monday through Friday.
Hey, we got people in Hawaii listening too, motherfuckers, so you don't know if it's 105 their time.
Well, 1205 Central Time, 105 Detroit time, and I don't know what the fuck it is in Hawaii.
Kyle, throw out your social media.
You can find me at Team Chaos. That's KAYOS on Instagram and Twitter. Kyle J. Campbell on Facebook. And you can find my other show, Wakanda Podcast Is This. WAKINDA Podcast Is This. Everywhere you listen to a podcast.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Detroit Knockout, at Detroit NOKOUT. Make sure you're following the show at KO3C Pod, Knockouts and 3 Counts on YouTube, KO3CPod.com. And as Devin said, check out 1205 Live, but also after the fights, it could be after AEW Dynamite. Hell, I might do one for Bare Knuckle FC this weekend. Make sure you check out Knockouts and 3 Counts after the bell as well.
1205 Central is 1705 UTC.
So, what, 6:05?
5.
Yeah, that's 5
p.m.
o'clock. Yeah, Devin, so you lied. See, my point proven. Anyways, watch all of them motherfuckers. And I saw you guys watch the one for the Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight. I know I just butchered her name.
Gesundheit.
But yeah, man, I saw a whole.
You said that pretty well.
Yeah, I know a whole bunch of you guys watched it. Keep watching, man. We're going to be bringing you out more content. And also, thank you to everybody who checked out our project from BCWA. We're going to be doing another one here October 26th. For their next show, we'll be bringing somebody from BCWA on again next week. So check us out there. And until then, peace.
Our intro music is More, More, More by Punch Deck.
I don't know what to say to that.
They want more.